Japanese and U.S. armed forces have drawn up a draft plan for a joint operation for a possible Taiwan emergency, Japan's Kyodo news agency has reported, amid increased tensions between the island and China. Under the plan, the U.S. Marine Corps would set up temporary bases on the Nansei island chain stretching from Kyushu, one of the 4 main islands of Japan, to Taiwan at the initial stage of a Taiwan emergency and would deploy troops, Kyodo said on Thursday, citing unnamed Japanese government sources. Japanese armed forces would provide logistical support in such areas as ammunition and fuel supplies, it said. About 20 Chinese Navy and Taiwan Navy ships remain close to the median line of the Taiwan Strait, an unofficial buffer separating the two sides, as of Wednesday morning, a source briefed on the matter told Reuters. Meanwhile, the self-defense forces and the U.S. military have drawn up a draft joint operation plan that would enable the setup of an attack base along the southwest Nansei island chain in the event of a Taiwan contingency, according to the Japanese government sources. China claims democratically governed Taiwan as its own sacred territory and in the past 2 years has stepped up military and diplomatic pressure to assert its sovereignty claims, fueling anger in Taipei and deep concern in Washington. Taiwan's government says it wants peace, but will defend itself if needed. In October, Japan's government signaled a more assertive position on China's aggressive posture towards self-ruled Taiwan, suggesting it would consider options and prepare for various scenarios, while reaffirming close U.S. ties. Earlier this month, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said Japan and the U.S. could not stand by if China attacked Taiwan. U.S. officials, speaking on the condition of anonymity, have long said that given the tens of thousands of troops the U.S. has in Japan and its proximity to Taiwan, Japan would likely have to play an important role in any Taiwan emergency. Japan is host to major U.S. military bases, including on the southern island of Okinawa, a short flight from Taiwan, which would be crucial for any U.S. support during a Chinese attack. The U.S., like most countries in the world, recognizes China over Taiwan, in line with Beijing's One China policy. But Washington is the island's biggest arms supplier and ally and is obliged by law to help it defend itself. Since the 1980s, the People's Liberation Army Navy has sought to be the dominant power in the South China Sea. China has not yet accomplished that goal, but it is much closer than Washington cares to admit. China's artificial island building and its expansion of military capabilities in the area, combined with a massive naval and air force modernization program, raise serious questions about the U.S. military's ability to maintain primacy in the area. Admiral Phil Davidson, then commander of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, testified before the Senate in 2018 that China is now capable of controlling the South China Sea in all scenarios short of war with the United States. In reality, the balance has shifted even more than that. The truth is that the United States would likely have little choice but to cede the South China Sea in the opening stages of any conflict with China. U.S. forward presence, the strategy of constantly having American forces deployed abroad to reassure allies and deter enemies, rests on the access provided by partners. In the South China Sea, that means Singapore and the Philippines. And those countries increasingly wonder what they're getting from the United States in exchange for that access. The U.S. Navy might be free to sail the South China Sea, but Southeast Asians are being excluded from their own waters by the constant harassment of Chinese forces during peacetime. The more Chinese pressure builds, the more support for the United States seems like a bad bet, one that benefits Washington but not its partners.